Hi everyone, my name's Trevor. I'm with MarketDelta, and the goal of this video is to give you a pretty comprehensive overview of MarketDelta Desktop and walk you through much of the functionality and different ways to customize things within the application. So this is not a short video, this is a long one. But if you were to watch this whole thing, I think you'd have a great understanding of the application and how to get around it. So, with that said, let me get started. I am obviously logged into the platform. The platform is going to look the same whether you have a demo, whether you're on trial, or you subscribe. If you end up subscribing, though, then you're able to link up a live trading account and link it to your brokerage account, obviously, so you can trade and route orders. So that's like the big thing. Otherwise, it's just a 14-day trial, and you'll have all the functionality that I'm pretty much going to show you today. So the first thing I want to really bring your attention are the different toolbars. Across the left, there's these black buttons with a More button that lists basically all the different windows. This is how you would open up different windows, whether it be a chart or a dome, and I'll get into some of that more in a moment. And then in the right, towards the right side, are pages. Now yours is going to look a little different. Mine's been customized, but under the page button, this is where it lists there's a bunch of system pages, over 100 different system pages, but then there's going to be a footprint group with a bunch of different footprint samples. So if that's why you took up the application, you want to check those out. Otherwise, all your personal pages will be down in through here as you add them. So that's how that's how that works. That's how you access them. And then you're going to have a few shortcut buttons for pages. So you probably have 3 on there now, 2 or 3 if you've just installed it, but you can add more buttons to do that. And then going across the top, we got the formula button. I'm not going to get into too much detail on that. I will open it though right now just to show you. For instance, you have let's say just a condition here. It's tabbed, so this is where you build any of your custom studies and things like that. If you don't see this toolbox, just click toolbox, and this is really a great thing to have open as you build these things. And in fact, it's probably going to be required since you don't know the syntax. One note on the formula builder: if you have questions or not sure what to do, or you have a study that you'd like to build and you just can't figure it out, there is a team of product specialists that you can email and send them the details of what you're trying to do, and they're very knowledgeable folks. They'll respond and provide information on how to do that. So their email is just prodspec@cqg.com. So that is a great resource when it comes to building these custom studies or using conditions and things like that. Another great feature is a built-in symbol guide, and you don't want to take that for granted because we are connected to a lot of different markets. And so if I hit symbol search, this will open up a symbol guide showing all the markets or exchanges that we provide connectivity to. And if I click into one, let's just say I choose CME E-mini on Globex, it's going to show me all the symbols that trade on CME on Globex. And I actually sort mine. If you click the header, you can sort them by volume. This is a good way if you're not sure what contract to choose. If you sort them by volume, at least you'll know which ones trade more. So this is a nice little trick, and it does show you all the volume. And so I can see, I can just rank those symbols. And so, for instance, if I were to, I'm going to uncheck this, and if I typed in gold, GOLD, and I just hit search, it's going to search for gold contracts across all those exchanges. And you can see It's even going to show stocks and ETFs. So I'm looking for the futures. And in particular, let's take a look at COMEX on Globex, since COMEX is the futures exchange that gold trades on. And I can see, okay, here it is. So the symbol you'd want to enter would be GCE. You could type it as f.us.gce, but you don't need to. In most cases, the system's going to preference towards futures, so you can just type in GCE and it'll append everything else automatically and return the gold contract. So you can also look over here to the short symbol, and that's what you can use as well. So anyway, that is a nice way to do this. You could also check multiple exchanges, so maybe the London Metals Exchange. If I wanted to see just both of those exchanges, I can see, now I can see them both. Now going down, you can see the London Metals Exchange. It's all red background or kind of a pink colored. That's because I'm not enabled for that exchange. So that's a nice little tool to know that if the background is pink or red, you're not enabled. You're just disabled. You won't have any data whatsoever. If it's white, you are enabled. And if it's yellow, you are enabled, but it's delayed. It's delayed data. So you can pay to see delayed data, usually from the exchanges, and that's how that works. So that's a quick review of how the symbol search works. And you can also filter by country, type, index. Usually it's just good enough to choose which exchanges, and type the name or the symbol, whatever you need to type. Moving on, Message Center, those are just going to be system messages, not a lot to talk about there. Live Chat will connect you with a live technical support representative in the event that you need any support from a technical aspect. And then Window, that's pretty straightforward, but if you right click it, say you're on a page and you've got, let me go to a page, and let's say these things are all, kind of messed up, like this. You can go up here to Window, right click, and say Arrange Tiled. Puts everything nice and tidy, so that you can see them, and then you can maybe change the configuration from there. Support. Clicking support opens up a fairly large menu, and this is where a lot of the different utilities might be for, say, importing and exporting pages and components. So if you have a trading colleague that has a layout or a page or an entire setup, you can import it that way. However, the one thing I want to really point out here is under Open Help. If I click that, that will open up the help and allow us to really, you could search through here. It's very updated, and it's very well organized. So this is a very good resource to learn the software if you're not sure about something. Another little trick that opens this is, let's say I'm not sure what this is, or I have a question. If you click the little question mark in the top right, you can see the cursor changes, and if I click on this, what it does is it'll attempt to open up help with that type of window in focus and give you some information on that. So anyway, that's just another little tip. Moving off to the left side is a contextual toolbar. And this toolbar will change based on the type of window. So I'm actually going to go back to one of my other pages, since I have other window types on here. I have charts plus some domes. You could see what this looks like right now, but if I click a dome, you could see it changes just to reflect the options that are available for a dome. That's how it works. So no matter what window you have open, whether it be I don't know, time in sales or a quote board or whatever, it's going to show you a different list here based on that. Another thing that's really important is the setup button. It's always anchored in the top left corner, and this will be contextual when you click it based on the type of window selected as well. System preferences is always listed, but since I have a dome selected right now, it shows me trading preferences. So if I open trading preferences, it gives me everything to do with trading, all the different trading preferences from the display, all the way down to confirmations, notifications. One quick note, under confirmations, you can, if you don't want confirmations for every order you put in, you can uncheck this. Now the reason I can't uncheck it right now is because I'm not logged in. So let's do that so you understand how that works. By default, if you're on trial, you're not going to even have a choice to go either live or demo. But for subscribers, you have access to a lifetime demo account. So as long as you're a subscriber, you can always flip back over to demo and sim trade, which is great. But in this case, I need to make sure demo trading is checked, which it is. If I wanted to go over to my live account, I would uncheck that and then just click log on. But I'm going to do demo, and then I'm just going to click log on. You'll see it'll pop up a window, automatically grab me login credentials. It was real quick, and I don't have to type in any demo credentials. It just automatically gets them, and now I'm in and I can trade. But going back to what we were showing under trading preferences, you should now see I can, these became active. I can now make choices based on my preferences. So let's, I'll come back to that. I want to just show you though, that setup is very key. So if I click chart and click setup, this is where you would go into chart preferences and maybe change the sessions. So for instance, actually this is real helpful. So let me go to let's go to this S&P chart, and I'll make it a 5-minute chart. So here's a 5-minute E-mini S&P. If I click setup, go to chart preferences and sessions, you can see it is showing me all 3 sessions. I have all 3 sessions checked, which means the data that I see on the chart is going to reflect all 3. If I just wanted to see the day sessions, how those have been factoring into the price action, hit apply. The chart redraws, and it's only showing me day action. I can see that down here across the bottom. Each day is color coded and it shows me the times. So the nice thing with MarketDelta is you don't ever have to define any of these sessions. They're predefined. They're predefined based on what the exchange is defined as a session, and they're always going to be correct for you. So you just need to choose which ones you want to see. By default, I believe they're all on. And then you can just go in confidence knowing that the data you're looking at is what you expect it to be. So there's some neat things you can do though. I could uncheck and just do Globex night session just to see how the night trading activity's been. So you could do some studies on this just to see how things have shaped up. I'm going to go ahead and recheck them all. And again, I'm not going through every single tab here. You can explore those. You can also reach out in the help manual. It'll describe them. I really want to touch the high points of what most people need to be aware of to really make good use of the software. Going back to setup, chart colors is going to be another one that you probably use a lot. Or not use a lot, but you're going to probably want to make some changes there. So clicking that, it's bringing up the chart colors of the chart that I was on, and you can see what they are here. However, I found it quicker. If you go down into here, this is my color preview. I can just click, and let's say the background I want to change to white, and then I want to change the time scale. Basically, you go through and you click each one of these, changing it to the color, and then you can hit apply and you'll see the chart. It's a lot quicker than going down through here. So I just want to make that That's a nice little tip that you may want to use. Everything else up in here, I'm going to not really cover right now. Customize toolbar. Let's do that. Now you can either get to it under setup and choose customize toolbar, or you can always just right click in any of the gray space within the toolbar area and it'll open up the toolbar manager. Let's spend a few minutes on here because you will probably want to know how to configure this, maybe put some of the important studies that you want to see on here. So this is toolbar manager. If I click the add remove here, it opens up a basically a menu that allows me just to select. So selecting these will add buttons up here. So if I hit all contracts, you can see it added an all contract button. So it's real simple. Just click the ones you want to see and it'll add a button for them. And what that means is then you can just simply click the button to launch that type of window. So that's pretty nice. And that's the way it's going to work for all these. So this was for charts, quotes, and news, which is going to be up here. But if I wanted to control what chart types I was seeing, I could click this and I could turn off. So for instance, I'm going to turn off market profile because I don't have that enablement. It's not available. And I could turn off spread bar, time-based T-flow. And you could see these will just change as I'm looking at it in real time. Click close, and that's that. You're not probably going to use these too much. These are just your chart types. So when you're on a particular chart, you use those to change it to a different chart type. I'll show you that in a moment. But down here, these are your drawing tools as well as your studies. You will be using these probably more often. So if I go to studies, this will show you a tabbed interface of all the studies available in the platform. Some of these are going to be paid add-on studies, just be aware. But I can then click, just add whatever. If I want to add Bollinger Bands, you can see it just added the button. Whatever you want. Just toggle the ones on that you want. They'll show up over here. You can go to Custom Studies, do the same thing. And once you're done, click Close. And I'm going to go ahead now and close this. You can change the colors and the fonts and all that, but I'm not going to spend time on that right now. Click close, and now let's just let me go ahead and maximize this chart. Let's say I wanted to add a Hall moving average on here. If I just click Hall, you can see it adds it. It adds that study right from here. If I want to remove it, I can just right click Hall and it'll remove it. Real easy. And those are going to be ones that you're probably using a lot. If I want to draw a trend line, I have a trend line button here. I can click trend. Notice my cursor changes. And let's say I want to put a trend from here over to this high that just got put in. Okay. And now I can click trend again to turn it off, turn the cursor off, and there's my trend line. Now if I want to take that trend line off, I can right click on it and remove it. And you can also add any study or any drawing tool by right clicking on the chart, and you can see up here pointer tools. Pointer tools shows the most recent pointer tool used, which was trend, but here are all the other ones that are available. So profile area is a popular one, but there's obviously all these other ones, and you can that's how you can add them from this, or you can click add study. Adding study will bring up the add study window. I can choose from a group of studies or just all, and let's say I want to add a moving or the Bollinger Band. Just start typing it and it'll bring it up, and you can click setup to configure it before you add it, or you can just add it. So there I just added the Bollinger. I can see what it looks like. Maybe now I want to change one of the parameters. To do that, and this goes for any study that would be on the chart, just right click on that study and choose modify, and it'll show the study name. And maybe I want to take this up to a 2021 period. Hit apply. There's my Bollinger. Okay. And I'll go ahead and click. And now let's say I want to remove it. Well, just right click on it and remove. Pretty straightforward. Additionally, with charts, you can tell they're all tabbed. Now I have 4 tabs in here. I have different time frames. I have my daily time frame. I have my 30-minute, my 5, and then my 1 minute. And I'm going to go ahead and click the plus sign. What it does is it duplicates the selected tab. Here's my new tab. You can right click and name it. But if I want to change the symbol, notice the cursor focus is down here in the bottom left. That's where it is when you're on a chart. If I want to change the symbol from the E-mini, which that symbol is actually EP, that's Echo Papa. Let's say I want to look at the 10-year note. I'm going to just type in TYA and press enter. So here's a 1 minute of the 10-year note. You can see it shows the symbol up here. One thing to note is it'll automatically roll contracts as they expire. Notice it's showing me the June contract. Today's the first day of March 2018, so it just rolled and it automatically knows that it's no longer the March contract is front, it's the June, so it just shows it to me. I don't have to know that. I just type in the root symbol, which is TYA, and it does the rest. It's smart, and that makes it a lot easier because you can trust the data you're looking at. That can't be said for a lot of platforms that don't have an integrated data feed. They're not synced. They don't know. They don't talk to each other well that way, and you find sometimes you're not looking at what you expect. To change the time frame, so I'm on a time-based chart. You can see it says 1 minute up here. The focus is down here again in the bottom left. I can just type in 5 and press enter, and it changes to a 5-minute chart. I'm going to go ahead and remove these studies down here. I'm going to right click, remove, and right click, remove. And there we are. Just now I got my let's remove this as well. So what I want to do is show you how to manipulate some of these charts. So obviously I'm on a candle chart. Clicking these changed the chart type from candle to something else. So if I click bar, changes it to a bar. If I click CVB, it changes it to a constant volume bar. So now that it's done that, let's right click and choose modify CVB. And this goes for any chart type. Right clicking on it will give you the setup study parameter window. So you can see it's a 610 tick chart. You can do it's a volume chart, 610 volume chart. If I wanted ticks, you just choose ticks, and now it'd be a 610 tick. So it's going to default to a volume-based chart. We'll leave it at that. And if you click display, you're going to see display. This is consistent throughout the application. These little arrows, these 3 arrows, clicking on them opens up another window, and this is where you can change the basically change the colors or way it's displayed, or maybe you want to change it to a bar. There's a bar, here's a candle. If you're not sure, you can click info, and that'll open up the help and give you more information on that particular chart type or study or whatever it is. So this is going to be, that's very good to know. Just clicking info, anytime you see it will bring up the help file. So I'm going to click back right here to go back. Notice I could have clicked info here, and I'm just going to click cancel. And let's now go to a delta bar. Well, let's go to a footprint. Now I'll change it to a footprint. So this changes the chart to a footprint. Notice it just defaulted to a 6-tick footprint, 6-tick range, and it's not it's no longer a 610. It just went to like a default chart, default footprint. And again, right click, modify, and it brings up the modify footprint window. And in here, I'm not going to go through every setting, but with a footprint, there's obviously some more things on here that I want to bring to your attention. Let's just work left to right. Clicking source, notice the three arrows, opens up a window that allows me to define what source type. Think what interval or what periodicity, depends on what word you're used to hearing. Just select it, and let's say I want to see a point and figure based, or yeah, point and figure based footprint, and I want it to be the box size to be 1 and the reversal to be 4. So this is a 4-tick reversal footprint. Hit apply, and there it is. I'm going to go back now, and this is the style of footprint. So if I wanted to view delta footprint, there's the delta, and you can just choose whichever one you want. Normally you're going to use volume data. If you're looking at spot forex or currency markets, the spot markets, not the currency futures, you're going to want to change this to trades. They don't have volume, and they don't disseminate volume, so you want to look at it as trades. And in that case, then actually I'll show you. Let's just do it. I'm going to say trades, and I'm going to change this symbol. I'm going to change this symbol to this is the let's change it to a 1/20. This is a currency pair showing the trade. So it's a footprint of currency pairs, which is pretty nice. So I'd probably end up wanting to change it from this point and figure to just bar. Bar is time bars. So if I hit apply and go back, now we're looking at, what is it, a 5-minute. This is a Euro USD chart, spot Forex. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK and actually change it back to the E-mini. Right click, choose modify, and let's keep working here. Set it to volume. Threshold is a volume filter, so if I just want to see 200 lots or higher, I just set that. You can see now where these big trades have coming in, where they're coming in. Let me turn this off. There, now you can see a little bit better. So these are just showing us the big lots where they're trading. So that's a nice feature. By default, though, you're just going to leave that blank and see all the data. And then this is just based on which footprint type you're viewing. I have it on imbalance, so it's showing me these other settings. But if I had it on a volume footprint, notice it doesn't show me those extra parameters. Choosing display gets into all the footprint display properties. We have some videos that go into this, so you can search on the MarketDelta.com site under resources. There's a videos section that goes in. There's a video that goes into all these. There's a lot that you can do here, and the main thing that I want to show though is this candle. Notice the little candle, the open close bar next to the footprint. If you don't have that, it might be set to none, and you can see it's not showing. So you probably want to go in there and change that so you can see it, as well as the coloring. So you can specify all the different colorings here. But that's what I pretty much want to cover on that. If you use the real-time support and resistance levels that are built into the footprint, we call them easy levels. Those are located under highlight it, and it's actually buy imbalance and sell imbalance. And you configure these, and then you would apply them. So obviously I need to tweak my settings to be so I'm not seeing so many, which I'll do real quick just to kind of show you how that works. But we have a video on all this stuff, so I don't want to get too bogged down in these specific details. I mainly want to cover the core features and functionality. So again, you can still apply all these studies. All these studies worked in exactly the same way they did with the candlestick chart. So, for instance, if I wanted to add that Hall moving average, you can see there it is. Right click and I can remove it. Let's say I do something like this. I go like that. I'm trying to find a level and I just took the chart off. You can either you can left click the little arrow in the bottom left, or it's real easy. Just double click the background of the chart, and what that does is auto scales or rescales everything. Another feature, let me add a volume profile to the chart. And one of the things that happens when you add a volume profile, notice I just added it and it's showing me the lowest value and the highest value for the day here on this volume profile. Notice though what it did to the footprint, it really compressed it, right? And you may not want to see it that way. So what you need to do is just go over and right click on the price scale and choose auto scale without studies. What that does is that'll scale the footprint, the current view, highest to lowest, and just show you where how that lines up with the current profile. And you can always just scroll up to see where the high and low volume levels are or whatever, then just double click to bring it back into focus. So that's a real helpful tip and how that works. All right, let me move on, show you some other things. Okay, let's take a look at some of these things. This is really what launches the core functionality within the application. And to do so, I'm actually going to go to page. I'm going to right click on page and I'm going to say new page. It gives me a blank slate. And I want to start here with chart. Well, it's not the first button. We're just talking about charts. And if I just left click it, it's just going to open up a a template chart. It opened it on another screen. And it's just like a template chart. However, usually what I tell people is right click on chart and then choose add chart. And it'll show you all the different chart types that are available. So if I wanted to open up a footprint, I just choose footprint. And there it is. If I want to open up a candlestick, just choose candlestick. And what it does, notice it just opened up a, now I have two charts open. And that's a really quick way to populate a bunch of charts. However, another nice trick is once I have a chart open and configured, let's say I really like all the settings and things I have on this chart, you can go up here in the left hand corner and choose replicate. What it does is it just replicates the chart, and then maybe all you need to do is change the symbol. So I'll change it to the 10-year note, and now I have two charts. I don't have to build them from scratch. That's a really nice way to go about it. So let's actually change that to candle, and that'll give us a start. But anyway, that's how you can open up charts. Right click and just choose your chart type, or you can also close them that way. Alerts, clicking this, just left click, this allows you to open up, well, let's just do a price alert. What it does, it basically brings up a big spreadsheet that allows you to set price alerts so that you specify the symbol and when it's above or below a certain price, and then it'll alert you when that occurs. So that's pretty straightforward. You can choose, I'm on price alerts, but you can do it if it crosses like a line. You can do studies, time alerts, trading systems, or conditions. There's a whole bunch. It's pretty advanced, or I should say robust. And what you can do to learn more about this, click the little question mark and just click in here, and you'll see it'll open up alerts, and you can just start learning about them, all the different types that I'm talking about. So I'm not going to go into any more detail than that on alerts. Contract spec, what this does is whatever window is open, the symbol that's in there, when I click C spec, it's actually contract spec. This is a really another nice tool that's part of having the data feed built into the software. Is everything's really tightly integrated, and we have all this available. So these are the contract specs. It also shows you the times, like the times that it opens and closes. It shows you the tick values, tick size, all that stuff. And this is really nice. Shows you expiration, the contracts that are current and upcoming. And so this is nice, especially if you're going in, you're looking at an instrument, you're not sure what it ticks in or what the tick value is. This is a really nice tool. So let's that's contract spec. Another nice thing I like, I'll show you since I'm talking about that, is like the 10-year. I don't trade the 10-year too much, but this move, maybe I'm curious what was that like in terms of dollars, in terms of a trade. So if you right click, I actually have the button right here. It's called the currency. Let's go to pointer tools and go down to currency. You can select, let's just do from right here where it broke out. I'm going to select here and go up to right here. So what it does is I'm basically marking a buy point and a sell point and what that move would have been worth. So you can see it shows $234.38. That's pretty neat. It's calculated on a one lot, of course, but it gives you an idea. It really gives you a good idea of what a move is worth in a particular instrument, especially if you don't trade it very much. So anyway, just a little tip there on that. Sometimes it's neat to see that. I've showed you chart DOM Trader. Let's go ahead and I've added a button. You may not have that button, and if you don't, I'll show you. Well, remember when I opened up the toolbar? Right here, DOM Trader, you can select that, and this basically launches a DOM, or a DOM, however you say it. So that's what I've done, and you may not have that button, but that's how you'd get it. But if I click it, what it does is it launches a DOM. And you can notice it's big. If I make it thin and small, it shows me more prices. It just auto adjusts size-wise. But let's just talk about the DOMs for a minute. You can open up multiple DOMs. You can replicate them like I showed you earlier. So now I've got a couple. So you may open up 3 and maybe you're tracking 3 different instruments. Of course, you'd want to arrange these how you want on your screen. They're tabbed. You can have up to 4 symbols per one. So maybe I want the 10-year here, the E-mini here, and I've got crude oil here. So this is nice. It shows your P&L and whether you have a position in each one. And then the buttons. These buttons you can change. You can really change the look and feel of these extensively notice I've selected one, and if I go to setup and go to trading preferences. So I touched on this earlier. Once we're in here, we can change the trading display. Notice there's different themes, but you can then change buy sell colors. You can change the order of these columns, so maybe you don't like how this is oriented. You can change that. There is clearly a lot of options here. And one of the best ways to probably learn how a lot of these work is to, let me close that. If you go to more and go down to welcome, MarketDelta desktop welcome, what this does is essentially opens up our web page. So the URL for this is www.marketdelta.com/welcome. You'll get this same page. But if you scroll down, there's some good videos here, 3 videos. They're small. The quick start, popular symbols. These are the most common symbols that most of our users are watching. And right in here under resources, training guides and videos. If you click that, it's going to open up a window. It takes you out to CQG's training library. And when it finally comes up, right here under trading, you can go to video. And these are YouTube videos. But I basically want to show you this because what you can do is go to a collection of organized videos. So Dom Trader features part 1. It's only 6 minutes long. You should watch, if you can, watch all these. You'll learn quite a bit. That's a great way to learn how to use any of those. So that's well, that's that. We also have some videos under resources videos. You can go there and maybe search quick start. These are some quick start videos. These are all usually 5-6 minutes long, and so anyway, I just want to bring that to your attention because that's a great resource. As far as trading, so I'm logged into the demo. Let me close 2 of these. Let's just have the E-mini one open, and I'm going to close this, put this over here, and let's make this nice and big. So to trade, and I'll just place a few trades so you can see how this works. And again, there's different preferences for trading behavior and functionality, but if you double click, just double click a price. I'm going to double click where the current market is, and that'll center it based on that price. Here's where the market is. I'm going to click in here on the dome to work an offer up here at like 14.75. I'm short. You can see I'm short 1 at 14.75. And I'm going to work a bid down here at like 13.25. You can see it shows my average position. My P&L is changing in real time as the market moves around. And let's see if I get this. You can click to drag it. I can drag it up. So I just modified it that way. And another thing you don't see, I have one open. I'll show you this, but I want to drag it into view right now. It's called an orders and positions window. So it's tabbed. You can have multiple ones open. And I better put in a stop. Let's say if it gets up here, gets up here at 1675, I'll get stopped out. So what I did is I left clicked on 1675, held it down and drug it over to here, and that's my stop. Okay, I got stopped out. So again, to place like if I want to place a sell stop down here at 12.5, left click on 12.5, drag it over, and you see it changes to a little stop sign, and I let go, and there's my my stop order. You can cancel them down here or liquidate. I'll go ahead and cancel that out. But this will show you all your filled orders, your canceled orders, your how many you've done. I've done 10 by 10 today. I'm up 175 on this demo account. At the bottom it shows you this is a demo account, so it shows you get 300,000 account is a demo to play with and learn. So that's how this works. But this orders and positions window, you may want, I'd have it open on another screen, but it's right here. If I click that, what it did is it opened on another screen. But you may want to put it somewhere so you have access to that all the time. Notice if I'm working an order, so I'm working one here at 1675. If I go to my working tab, I can see it. I can modify it from right here, or I can cancel it or go to market. You can also link it, add an OCO to it. But that's that. Let me show you how to do some chart trading. And to do so, I'm going to change this. I'm going to click and add another tab and change it to a candle chart. And I'm going to change it just to a 1-minute chart. So here's our 1-minute chart. And there's a thing called Snap Trader. That's basically chart trading within the application. So if I right click and choose Snap Trader, there's a couple versions of it, or I happen to have a version of it, the button added here, or you can click Snap Trader if you have this button. So I'm actually going to turn it on right here by clicking Snap Trader. Notice what it does is it adds Snap Trader. It shows a little order book, and it shows the current bid and current offer. Hovering over it though gives you different buttons. So I can go to market, I can buy market, I can sell market, or if I I can hit the bid or buy the offer, or well, I shouldn't say it that way. You could see it shows the price, buy one at that price or sell one at that price. and based on where the market is it's at, it'll go ahead and put it in. If I want to put an order up above here, so say I want to work, looks like it's bouncing around 18. If I want to just click this little arrow here, and you can see the horizontal line that's on here, and there. Now this is static, it's not changing, and I'm going to say sell one at 18, and there it is. So now I've sell one at 18 limit day. You can see the order, see it right here, it shows a 1, and I can click. If you right click that, because yours may not be set up like this initially, right click and choose modify order display, and you might want to check this box, drag to modify. You can also change how these look too. So I've modified mine, the weight and the colors. So this is a sell order, that's why it's red. Blue order or buy orders would be blue, and that's how I have it set up. But make sure you want this checked, this drag to modify. Click OK. And so now if I want to move this down, I can move it down to 14. What I move it 14 quarter. And if I want to place a buy order, let's say I want to place a buy order down here at 08, you can basically go up here and bring that down, bring it down. I'm going to work it at 8.5 and say buy, and there it is. You can familiarize yourself with this display on demo, but there's different. I have a bracket set up, so if I get filled on one of these, it's going to put a bracket order in. So we'll leave this up while I'm talking so you can see what happens. I can cancel all these orders. I can cancel one of them. So that's how it works. I'm going to actually move this down a little. Now, I'm not saying this is a great trade. I just want you to see how this can work. We may get these 8.5s. Okay, I'm filled. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that one. And notice as soon as I got filled, it put in my bracket, and boom, I'm out. It already took me out. So that was a nice little quick trade. And I used the bracket functionality. Now to use the brackets, I'm going to go to I'm going to click the dome just so it gives me my trading preferences. Go to smart orders, choose brackets, and put in what symbols you're going to maybe want to trade or use brackets with. E-mini is the one I just did, and I set a profit target and a stop loss. So I may change this to 6, and I'll just leave that at 5. Notice you can do ticks or dollars or price. So now when I would submit, if I have this set up as bracket, it's going to submit a bracket order on my fill as soon as I get filled. If I want to go back to normal, just turn it off. And so now if I were to let's sell market. So I'm short at 9. You can see it also shows it on the dome, and so I could go over here and trade on the dome as well, and it'll show up. It'll also just show up on here because I have Snap Trader turned on. To turn Snap Trader off, just go back to the chart, click Snap Trader, and it'll turn it off. Now the orders are still working. You can see I got them on the dome. It just doesn't display because the chart trading isn't enabled. But if I turn it back on, you can see. Notice it also shows where you've placed orders as you look back through. So that's how it works. And moving on, let's just move that to break even, and I'll put a stop in here at 1375. And let's go on now and as I move across, news opens up news feeds. So if you subscribe to any news feeds, you're going to get those. Options, clicking options will give you, if you trade options or like to graph or whatever, you can open up different options windows. I'm not going to get into those, but just opening them up, you can see it'll bring up a calculator and it'll let you do different things to analyze your options positions. Remember, double clicking the dome will recenter it. That's how that works. Quotes. Let's take a look at quotes. So clicking quote brings up, there's all sorts of different quote boards. And the main thing I want you to see here is, let's take a look at the quote spreadsheet. Quote spreadsheet's nice. This is a real modern interface, and you can say track a whole bunch of symbols. And there's hundreds of different column headers you can use. But what I've done is I've defined some portfolios, so I can go in here and choose portfolio, and I can do major futures. That's just what I called it, and I click it, and it'll load up those contracts. There they are, and it'll have, these are some of the fields or columns that I've defined that I want. So this is it's nice. You can define portfolio under more and go to portfolio and just basically create new and start typing in the symbols and then close it, and then that portfolio will be you'll be able to use that portfolio in different spots within the application. Obviously the quote spreadsheet is one of them. There's ETF sectors in here that are defined as well, so you can load those up, but you can see I've got a few that I've defined on my own, and it's a nice way to easily populate these things with lots of data. Otherwise you would just click in there and just start typing the symbols, and it'll auto search. So for instance, if I go in here and type in BTC for the let me just do let's see, what don't I have. I'll type in DJIA for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You can see it auto returns things based on what I'm typing, and you can just select it, and now I got the Dow. Now another feature, something that's pretty nice, is I can have it where the quote page or this quote board drives my chart. I can link everything up. And so let's just kind of do this. So if I double click, let's double click this and go like to the Dow. Oops, double click it. Okay, I must have that disabled. I think by default it'll do that. But what I want to do is link these windows. So what you do is you see the little key up here, you can link or group. Now linking creates a master window, and then when you click or change the symbol in the master, it'll change it in the child windows. Grouping just makes them all the same, so changing a symbol in any of the windows will change it in the other. That's probably going to be used more on the charts. In this case I want to do link windows mode, and it says you could see how my cursor changes. So I want to link this one and I want to link this one. Now I'm going to right click to end. So this is the master and these are the childs. So if I click EP, notice it brings up the E-mini and the dome and on the chart. If I click the NASDAQ, it brings up a NASDAQ chart and a NASDAQ dome. If I click CLE, crude oil, brings up a crude oil chart and a crude oil dome. So this is really nice because you can have your quote spreadsheet drive the symbols or instruments you want to view, and it gives you a real quick way to skip through markets. This is silver, and I don't have to have them all linked. I could unlink this, just unlink that. So now this is maybe always on the E-mini, and I just have this linked. So now I can just jump back. Here's gold. Here's the 5-year, the 30-year. Meanwhile, I'm always have maybe my core market in view. So that's a really nice feature. Time and sales, there is the time and sales functionality. I'll go ahead and open that. The one that's I think more popular is a portfolio time and sales. And did it open? Yeah, there it is. So you can load a portfolio up. So right clicking up in the top, I can load up, say, the major futures, This is all those futures contracts, and then you can filter. You can edit this to, oh, that's not what I wanted. I want to go to preferences, and I have it set to just show me 20 lots or higher. So it's looking at my entire portfolio of symbols and only showing me contracts. Shows me a trade, any trades that happen above 20 lots. So you could see what contracts are more active, and you can strategically create these portfolios, maybe just to be stock indexes or treasuries or whatever, so you can kind of get a feel for when they're hitting a bunch of symbols with large size all at once. So that's a nice feature. All right, I want to show you a couple more things here before we wrap up. And that is, if I go under trade, there's a bunch of trading interfaces. So I've showed you Snap Trader, which is trading from the charts. I've showed you the DOM Trader. There are other ones. So let's just take a look at Split Quote Board. So this is for any of you FX traders. This would be a way to create like an FX-like display. And so again, we can load up a portfolio, and I'm going to right click, choose portfolio, and if I do I'll just do indexes, it's going to load up basically all. This is where those portfolios come in handy, because now you can load this up. I could have this up top, and maybe you're trading, maybe you don't like the dome. There's a lot of traders that don't like a dome, or maybe these are just the interfaces you're more comfortable with. So I could then just trade off of here. I could just trade off of here. So if I go down, and you can link this too. So if I maybe want to make this my master, so now this is the child. So now when I click, say, E-mini, shows me the E-mini chart. If I go down here to the Russell, shows me the Russell, the 30-year. And so now I can just flip around, say I want to sell, or let's go back to the E-mini, and I want to just sell, I'm going to sell market. Place sell order. I'm short here. You can see it on the dome. And now I'm just going to buy. You can use this to move it around. See the chart. I'll work, go ahead and work a 15 even bid. Let's see if I get that. You can move it around on the chart. Since I have Snap Trader open, I can modify it. So I just moved it up to the 15 half. You could see it working right there. Okay, I just canceled it. I'll just place a new order there, 1575, and I'll put my stop up there. Anyway, I just want to show you that. One other nice trading interface is it's called the Spreadsheet Trader. Okay, I've just got that. I'm going to cancel out the other one. Spreadsheet Trader is another interface that allows us, if you're somebody who likes to watch and trade multiple instruments, this is an advanced interface where we can load up multiple symbols. So for instance, let's go ahead, right click, and I'm going to do portfolio again and choose indexes. So now I've got all my indexes. Notice it gives me buy limit buttons. I can see what these markets are doing, and I can trade right by clicking these buttons. Now something else that's pretty cool with this is I can click to open up and see the depth of market. Clicking the plus sign will actually show me the full depth, everything that's displayed for it. Now if you like to have market buttons, you can add buttons. Right click and do add column and type in market, and you can see down here is a buy market button. I'll add that, and then I need to add a sell market button. I'll add that. And so if you don't like where they're at, like I want to move the sell market over here next to the sell limit, and there it is. So now you can just, I'll go ahead and collapse this. So now notice I can buy or sell market right from here. And so let's collapse this. Let's bring my chart bring my chart down a little, and now I could just trade. Let's say I want to buy limit here. I want to buy one at 13. Okay, I'm filled at 13. And if I wanted to place an order at, say, 1375 or 14, I'm going to go ahead and just click. I could just say the sell limit here at 13 half, and it's working. Notice it shows up on here, and you can just manage it. You can manage them wherever you want. The main thing is the trading functionality within MarketDelta is highly integrated, which is very nice. And so I'm going to go over here to the dome and just click liquidate and liquidate out. And so cancels everything, gets me out. So a couple other things before we wrap this up is just this is more about Windows management. Using the little MarketDelta icon in the top left, you can do, I already showed you replicate, but you can do window out of page. If I click that, you'll notice it changes the header, the window title bar a little bit, and I can drag this outside the page. So this is a page that you're looking at. I can drag it outside to another monitor, and it is no longer part of this page. So if I save this page, it's not part of it anymore because it exists outside the page. So really the page is just what you see here, and the chart is just always going to be open no matter what page I select. So I just want to make that clear. I can bring it back in and do place in current page, which I'll do. But also, these are two nice things. You can make it where these are always on top of the MarketDelta application or on top of all applications. So if you have domes that are drawn or drug outside or window out of page, those are going to be very helpful because you may not want those to get buried behind some other screen, or some other window that you have open. So you may want to always have those on top, and that's how you can do it. Let's see, is there anything else? Yes, let's show you under more. So under more, I'm not going to touch on all these, but these are all the different other windows that you have available that you can open up. And some of them require special permissions, but for the most part, these are all the different things you can access and open within the application. So if you haven't added it on here, it's going to be under more. You can also customize it and make it so they are visible on here. So it should be pretty intuitive that way. Let's see, I think I've covered pretty much everything. Orders and positions. If you click under trade is orders and positions. So this is where you get that orders and positions window I mentioned, as well as all those other trading interfaces. But normally if you have a trading interface open, you want to have an orders and positions window open as well, so that you can see what what you're working, how many trades you've done, things like that. So before I wrap up, I just want to make note there is 24-hour telephone technical support with MarketDelta. So that is a great thing to have, as well as the live chat within the application, and then access to the product specialists. You can always reach out to them. So one last thing that I see people do a lot that I want to make you aware of is horizontal lines. If you use the scroll wheel and the mouse, notice it puts a line on here, and if I click, it adds a horizontal line. So you probably don't want to use that too much. I just want to make that clear. But if you want to snap in lines, support and resistance, you can just left click where you want it, and then left click again, and it'll add your support and resistance lines. So it's real easy to add levels that way. You can also have it where these things show on a trading interface. I'm not sure if this one does, but I can have it where, let's say that Bollinger Band or a Hall Moving Average. So I can right click and show on trading interface. So you can see that my Hall Moving Average now and this will update in real time as that moving average changes. So maybe you want to tie a working order to it, or you just want to have it front and center on the dome. You can do that. But notice right clicking on that, I can, looks like it's not letting me do that for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's a preference I don't have turned on. But I just, okay, notice it just adjusted. See how it's adjusting? But this is kind of nice, and you can turn that off. I'm going to say remove from all trading interfaces for that symbol. But anyway, we hope you really enjoy this software. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help out. If you have any brokerage related questions, reach out to your broker. They're in the best position to help you out with anything when it comes to your trading or trading login. We don't have any control or access over that, so always reach out to your broker for trading or brokerage related questions. Thanks, and make a great day.